Hello and welcome to What's Carole Cooking. So I have a niece and nephew, Caleb and Savannah, that live in Vancouver, Canada, and they have made a request. They've asked me to make some butter chicken, which is their favorite meal. Caleb likes the entire butter chicken and Savannah loves the sauce. So this is for you guys. I'm going to marinate the chicken overnight. So I have a kilo of chicken thighs, which I've washed and cut into pieces. And I have a quarter cup of yogurt, plain yogurt. Add in. Got 4 cloves of garlic, which I've peeled and chopped. And I've got about a 2 centimeter piece of ginger, which I've peeled and chopped as well. And then I've mixed some spices. So I have 2 teaspoons of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of chili flakes, and 1 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just going to sprinkle that over. Now I'm going to give it a mix. Smell good. Make sure that all the chicken is covered, and this will make enough for 4 to 6 people. There we go. Everything's covered, and now I'm going to cover it and I'm putting it into the fridge overnight. You can put it in the fridge for, I would say, a minimum of 2 hours, but overnight is definitely better. While the chicken's marinating, I'm going to make some sambals, which you can find the recipe in my cookbook, Carole's Kitchen Capers. So I've chopped up 2 tomatoes, just roughly chopped them up, and I've got half an onion, which I've chopped up, and we'll add to that. And then I've got some white vinegar. I'm just going to pour white vinegar in. I'm going to add in some salt, some sea salt, and about half a teaspoon of sugar. And we're just going to give it a stir. As you can see, the vinegar is covering the tomato and the onion. And that's it. We're going to pop a lid on and we're going to put it into the fridge overnight, and the longer it stays in the fridge, the better it tastes. Hello again. It has been a crazy busy day, but the chicken has been marinating in the fridge overnight and looking good. So now it is time to make some butter chicken. I've added in 2 tablespoons of olive oil and I'm heating it on medium. I think it looks pretty hot, so I'm going to fry the chicken on both sides. You don't have to fry it until it's cooked because it will cook in the sauce later. You just want to sear in the flavors and make sure it's browned. As you can see, the chicken is nice and seared, and I'm just putting that aside, and now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of ghee. This good stuff, or not so good stuff. And I'm putting it in as is because all this garlic and ginger is really good. Just going to get that to melt. And now I've got, you're supposed to have 1 large chopped onion, but the onions were quite small and I bought them at the store, so I've got 2 small onions, which I've peeled and chopped. I'm just going to let that cook for a little bit. The onion's nice and cooked and soft, so I'm going to add That's 2 centimeters of ginger chopped and 4 cloves of garlic, peeled and chopped. And we'll just let that cook for a little bit. And then I've mixed some spices. So I've got 2 teaspoons of cumin, ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of garam masala, got 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of chili flakes, and 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to let that cook for a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to add some crushed tomatoes. Give that a stir. Smells good. And I'm just going to let that simmer for a few minutes. Now you can remove this from the heat and put it through a blender, but I prefer it to be nice and chunky like this because it's home cooking. So now that it's cooked a little bit, I'm going to add a cup of cream. And give that a stir. I'm going to add a tablespoon of sugar. And we'll just bring that to the boil. Actually, I'm going to pop the chicken back in so it can simmer. I'll cover the chicken with the sauce and we'll let it simmer for a few minutes so that the chicken is cooked through. The butter chicken has been cooking for 30 minutes and as you can see the sauce is really beautiful, perfect for you, Savannah. So I've made some roti, which is store-bought roti, and just popped it in the pan for 30 seconds aside and got this delicious roti. So now I'm going to dish up the butter chicken. Oh, it smells so amazing. And add that sauce so I can dip the roti into the sauce, and I've got some sambals to go with it, which should be really good because it's been in the fridge for a day. And then just sprinkle some cilantro or fresh coriander on top. And there you have it, butter chicken with roti and sambals. Enjoy, and please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.